You are now being recorded.
Oh my God.
All right, so this is Atlantic Crossing from Vermont.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
The great state
Hey,
of.
everybody.
And the question of the day is, what, in your opinion, makes for good dance music? What specifically makes Contra dance music different from other kinds of music? That's something you might do for a concert or such, and what nuances and elements make the music outstanding specifically for dancing?
Can you repeat all of that?
Okay.
A. Rhythm. Regularity of rhythm. The dancers have to be informed of where the beat is, which doesn't mean you've got to hit them over the head with it, but they have to know where it is. I've had the unfortunate experience of dancing to well-known bands when I and all the other dancers around me were totally out of sync because we just had no idea what was going on musically, which was a shame. And so keeping that clear, it helps callers as well. Keeping that clear is an essential component. Not the only component, but an essential one.
All right. Well, I know what I like to hear because contra dances are very long dances. So I know when I'm on the dance floor, I want to be transported on a journey. I want to feel like I'm going down a river, and sometimes that river has exciting whitewater rapids, and sometimes it has calm pools. So you have some variety, you have dynamics, you have ups and downs, both within a set and within the course of the evening, so that from dance to dance, all your tunes don't sound the same. So you have that variety that takes the dancer on this journey from the beginning of the evening to the end of the evening. I always enjoy that when I'm dancing to a band that does that.
Oh, it's in line, aren't we?
Yeah.
I suppose I bring it down to the whoop factor. Woohoo! I feel that if we can get some woohoos, then we're well on our way, because dancing is not about linear emotion. It's about having fun. And if we can do things with the music that infuse the dancers with that feeling, I feel we've begun our job and can only go better from there.
Yeah, you gotta get them screaming.
What did I just say?
Next.
Next.
Scream. I feel like it's definitely a conversation with the dancers. Like I've seen some bands where, you know, they'll play, and it's almost like they're having more of a jam session on stage, and they're playing for themselves, and they're kind of in their own little world. Whereas you really got to be, you know, looking at the dancers and keeping track of what's going on, and it's all about a conversation, you know, with the caller and being aware of things. And
You mean a metaphorical conversation, or actually?
or sometimes it's actually a conversation.
An actual
yeah,
conversation
you
to
know,
say, let's
or
do
just
this, let's do that.
with the caller. Yeah, I mean, like, is this good, or you know, or this, and back and forth, and then just looking at the dancers and seeing if you're going too fast, if you're going too slow, or if people are confused, or if it's moved. You know, like, it's all about being aware of your surroundings. You know, like you aren't just sitting there going, oh yeah, this is so much fun, just not paying attention to anyone else around me. You know, it's definitely being open to your surroundings and being really absorbing like a sponge what is around you.
I think
And another apt metaphor is, you know, the band. It's rather like it's like a big cookie. Yeah. If you look at it, like,
tell us about
all the
Edit,
ingredients, you know.
Chocolate chip cookie or oatmeal cookie?
Oh, a chocolate chip cookie. Chocolate chip oatmeal cookie. Well, you have the things that hold together, like the flour and the eggs of the rhythm, and you have all the sweet little nibbits, you know, of the chocolate chips and the little brown sugar in there, and all that, and that just comes together and make a really tasty treat for the dancers that they just love to eat.
So getting back to music.
Yeah, yeah. So to follow up from all of that, so now I guess I would ask you, how do you do those things? Viveka, how do you tell a story through the evening or through one particular dance? What are you doing on the fiddle, or what are you doing on the guitar, or what are you doing on the percussion that makes that happen?
I think you can play with a lot of different textures. You can pare down, like if you have a band with different instruments, you can solo one instrument for a while. You can go down to one person playing. You can build up to everybody playing. You can have some harmony. You can have different grooves. I mean, groove is like that's the underlying current of the river. So you want your grooves to change to, you know, things that are smoother or bouncier, that have the dancers move their bodies in different manners. As you go from dance to dance, you know, each dance has its own character. That's where a good caller, such as Miss Diane Silver, might tell one how they envision that out. Dynamics, playing soft, playing loud, playing staccato or smooth. There's just, you know, you can vary the way that you play and play around with that tune and try to make it each time a little different.
That's one of the things we do a lot, and that's to liaise with the callers to decide on what the feeling is for that particular dance, and try to choose a set of tunes that really works with that
The
kind
emotion,
of feeling.
the emotion of
And
the
you
dance.
can also, like most
Slinky, sexy, smooth,
dances,
rough, bouncy,
Cookies.
binga binga. Keep saying.
most dances are played as medleys now, so you play more than one tune. So you might, when you put the melodies together, decide, do you want this dance to be very trance-like and not have that change of tune jerk the dancers out of the trance, or do you want that change of tune to be a huge lift and energy boost and an exciting moment? You can play it either way. So you want to design different medleys for different purposes that way. Some medleys you really build up and make, you know, it's a change of key and or it goes from minor to major, and sometimes you want to just have an underlying groove and it sort of sneakily changes as it goes more subtly.
Cool.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so you sort of dig a groove and stay in it for as
Make it
long.
deeper.
Yeah, make it deeper. Don't keep jumping out of it until you feel that it needs to be changed up, whether it's within that set or for the next dance, and then you just jump out into something different, and it gives the dancers a wake-up call before they get too trance-like.
It keeps it fresh too, because all the dynamics and different varieties of tunes and different volumes, you know, and it makes it feel like, oh yeah, you know, it's always exciting. Whereas if the whole dance is played at the same volume, or if it's the same varieties of tunes, it's like it's just you're just staring at one wall, or you're just flying down the rapids the whole time, and then by the end you get to the end of it and you're like, instead of having that, oh, I'm in the rapids and I'm in, you know, floating down this part, and it's just it's so exciting, you know. It's all about the excitement, you know, making people feel like they got a boost, you know.
But if we're talking musically, and something as simple as downbeat versus offbeat emphasis, that makes a huge difference to the feeling.
Can you talk about that a little bit more? Maybe give a little example.
Yeah, downbeat, ticka 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 tick. Choosing a reel, ticka 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 tick. One another, two another, one another, two another. It's wherever the foot is being placed is where the accent is, and that it's very propelling, and you can generate a bit more of a laid back feel if you put the accent on the offbeat, one another, two another, cha cha, one another, two another, one cha cha cha. I'm running out of breath here. Cha cha cha. And the accent is where they're coming up off the floor, and it creates a bit of lifelessness. No, lightness.
Lightness.
Lift and lightness.
Okay.
Yeah. How I got into lifelessness from the first idea.
Liftness.
The opposite.
Lightness.
The opposite is
Right.
lifeless.
Yeah.
Lightness.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
A great lift.
I have a question. I hope this doesn't throw you for a loop.
Oh, it will.
There's a trend in modern contra dancing to weave into the music genres, a variety of other musical genres. You know, some bands will play, or maybe even just in one little set, one tune, you know, bringing in salsa music or tango music or swing dance music or Caribbean music, or, you know, there's a whole techno thing going on these days in contra dancing of you know, just, which is a completely different style of music, you know, doing contra dance moves but with techno music.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
So my question is, do you have thoughts about, is there anything that is absolutely fundamental to contra dance music that the music must have, regardless of what genre you're pulling from? If you lose this, then it's not contra dance music anymore because it doesn't work for contra dancing? Or do you feel like, you know what, if you can fit it to the phrasing, it's okay? It's okay.
Well, it has that phrasing. You just used the word phrasing.
Oh, okay.
So if it has phrases, it's like anything else in the musical world. Experimentation can be really brilliant and great, or it can just fall flat depending on who's doing it and how well they do it. It's not categorically like this doesn't work and this does work. It's like, are you doing it well? But it has to match the phrase of the dance, and it has to convey to the dancers the way that their body ought to move for that dance.
Yeah, I'm something of a traditionalist. You might even call me musically conservative. I like the music to at least nod at where it came from. In the same way as the dancers, it's nice to see some of the chestnuts done now and again, which are a nod to where all this dancing came from. It's not just the last couple of decades. So I like the music to do that as well. And even though there's a lot of good music being written these days, and a lot of it is in the style of the old Irish and Scottish and some English tunes and so on.
I think in reality it falls between the tradition and that which is pushing the edges. It's a living tradition, and that which makes it lives is the experimentation or the stretching in the direction of the new. That's a living tradition. Mm-hmm. Otherwise it gets stale.
Very nicely said.
There's room.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun too.
There's room for tasteful.
Yeah, it has to be tasteful.
There's room for tasty additions.
Taste. That's a very individual thing, isn't it?
It is, and I think the dancers will vote with their feet as far as taste goes. Like, you know, if they're not enjoying it and not dancing easily to it, they're not going to want to come and see you again.
So do they throw rotten fruit or do they throw underwear?
Yes, panties.
We had a discussion about it.
We'll
not recreate that.
We're on camera. Let's not go there.
Right. That's sort of all that I have in terms of questions. Do you have any other thoughts that you just want to add for the contra dance world?
Folk aerobics forever.
Along the lines of what makes good music.
Okay, something that I would add, which is very much aimed at individual musicians. Some people, when starting out, A, try to play tunes which are beyond their capability, and B, try to ornament the hell out of them. And they do both of those things at the expense of solid rhythm. That for me is a big mistake.
I was about to say kind of the same thing, which is I would rather hear a band play a simple tune well than try to play, reach for something that they can't quite handle and fall apart. Yeah. Or, and the other thing is like focus. When, like Tristan said before, you got to be open to everything around you. If you're trying to play a tune you really just can't manage technically yet, you're focused on yourself, not on the rest of the band, listening to everybody and also the interaction with the dancers. So if you're a new contra dance musician starting out, my advice would be as you start to play your first dances, start with music that you can handle and try to make the best job of it and be focused outside of yourself. Focus on your bandmates, what are they playing, and the interchange in the sounds and watching the dancers and all that sort of thing.
Big ears, big eyes.
Yeah. So that you're not so focused on, well, I just have to get through these notes.
Yeah, it's got to be more than survival.
Yeah.
If it's going to be performance and interaction, it's got to be more than survival.
Yeah, and all the tunes have their place, and definitely some of my favorite tunes to play are the simplest ones, but they're just tons of fun.
There's some beautiful.
But then once you get really comfortable with a simple tune, there's all the space to have fun with it too. But there's something about just a really simple tune that you can really just get into and just groove out, and it's just a ton of fun. I like the complicated ones too. I mean, they all have their place, but it's just just keeping it simple is always something I come back to.
Good.
Especially rhythm-wise and all that stuff. I mean, you can have all the fun flourishes, but then you come back down to the elements and the cookie.
And the cookie. All right.
I was waiting.
I neglected at the beginning, so I'm going to do it now. Will you just introduce yourselves? We know that your band name is Atlantic Crossing, but who are you?
Tristan Henderson.
Playing.
Is the one with the hat.
Tristan Henderson playing foot percussion, some other percussion off and on. Where's the
Playing mustache. Sometimes twang his mustache.
Yeah.
Do that again from the start.
The mandolin.
Tristan Henderson. I play foot percussion, some other percussion, Jew's harp, mandolin, tenor banjo, bouzouki,
he takes the Aboriginal approach to music. Anything that crosses his path, he plays.
I've had to cut that though, because there's only so much before you can't master something.
There's only so
anyway.
much room in the car as well.
Great.
Rick Klein, rhythm gorilla, guitar.
And
There's a reason why everybody plays guitar. It's very versatile. And it's going to take a lifetime to learn how to play it. I only need one.
I'm Viveka Fox. I play fiddle and also djembe and boran.
And I'm Peter Macfarlane, and I play fiddle and low whistle.
All right, Atlantic Crossing. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
It's
Thank
our
you,
honor.
Thank you,
Diane.
then. Our honor.
All right, signing off.
Do our butts look big on this sofa?
You have some serious editing to
Yeah,
do
you
to get
got
all the
some-
goofy bits out.
Because you're wedged in a...